So, just shortly, what is Solita Academy? So, our first academy was held in 2016. So, this is now the upcoming academy will be the sixth year that we do this, and we plan to do these academies twice a year. So one during spring and one during fall. And the next year, spring academies will be held in English. So both the Dev Academy as well as the Data Academy in Finland will be held in English. We take from 15 to 20 people for both of the academies. And in all of the academies, we also have one person who is this academy principal role. So basically, they are responsible for the onboarding content as well as supporting the academians through the academy period. And just about the applications. So actually, the 2022 Spring Academy applications have been opened last week for the Dev and Data. And the applications will be open until the mid of January. So the last day to apply for the Dev Academy will be the 16th of January, and for Data it's the 10th of January. And this year actually we will have also some academians attending from Estonia for the Dev Academy. Then more specifically, what we're actually looking for and what does the academy then again offer for the participants. So the people that we are looking for are usually recent or soon to be graduates. So you can be a student in your last years of studies, or you might be a junior professional who has been on the field for a couple of years, or then again, you might have acquired the knowledge and the skills through, for example, hobbies. So for example, we do have self-taught developers attending our academies also. So quite a large group of people. And what do we actually look for? So we are looking for potential and passion for the field that you are participating. We would like to see initiative and motivation for your competence development, so ability and willingness to learn things, and also interest in software development or data and analytics, depending on which academy you attend. Then what do we actually offer, or what you will get in turn if you participate in academy? You will get a permanent employment contract, you will get a competitive salary, and also the Solida's all employee benefits from day one. The academy period will consist of workshops, lectures, hands-on learning together with the academic group and other colleagues as well here in Solita. And then after the academy, you will get to participate in like impactful projects that we have here at Solita. So the actual client projects. And also what Academy and Solita as a whole company offers is the support for your professional growth, so that we can support you to become the kind of like rockstar developer or the rockstar data engineer that you want to be. Okay, that was the short introduction, and of course, like more information can be found, more detailed information can be found from the job posts, and we can talk about those later. But now it's actually panel discussion time, and I believe that I have two amazing academic alumni on the line. So we have Reetta Metso and Nina Weiler here with us talking about academy. Let me just stop sharing it so that we can look at you and how this is in action gonna go. So I will ask you some questions and then you can answer them, and if there's any questions in the chat, we can address them later during the discussion. But yeah, let's get started. So maybe first you could tell who you are and what do you do at Solita. So maybe I would hear first from Reetta.
Yeah, hi everyone. So I'm Reetta. and I've been working as a data engineer here at Solita now for a year. So I started like 1 year ago, autumn, Data Academy at Solita.
How about Nina?
Yeah, hi everyone. So I'm Nina, and I joined Solita 2 months ago through this fall's Dev Academy. So I'm very new at Solita, and I work as a software designer right now.
And what about, like, you both have joined through Academy, but what have you done before you joined our Academy and Solita? What about Nina? What about you?
Yeah, my background is in social work, actually. So I've done a career change quite recently. And a little over a year ago, I began learning programming on my own. And then I did this 6-month boot camp, which included an internship also at an IT consultancy company. And yeah, I was just studying on my own and in the boot camp. And then this is my very first job as a developer.
Awesome to hear. How about Reetta? What's your background?
My background is in mathematics. I studied mathematics at University at Helsinki, and while I was doing my master degree studies, I started to do also some programming courses, and then I started working as a data scientist, and I was a data scientist for a year, and then I came here to the Solita.
How about, like, with that background that you have, maybe Reetta, you can tell in more in detail, like what were the skills that you had before you joined Academy, and like the skills that you felt that were the biggest ones that you had when you joined us?
I think the biggest one that helped me here was the programming courses. I did some Java programming and SQL, and I think the SQL was the one that I now use in my daily work. So that was something that was really helpful to know. And then in my previous job, I also did some development with databases, so I had some kind of knowledge about the data engineer's work.
So even with joining through the Data Academy, you found that programming skills were quite useful in the beginning.
Yeah, of course, yeah. And we had this, for example, this Python lessons, and I didn't know anything about Python before that. So yeah, even if I knew some programming language, it was helpful.
Yeah, just to know the general principles, and that truly, I believe that helped you a lot. How about Nina? You attend the Developer Academy, so what did you find more specifically useful in the beginning, looking through your background?
Yeah, so programming wise, I had been learning the MERN stack, so mostly React. And that's what I used to build the pre-assignment also, because it's pretty much the only language that I knew at the time. And then I was just trying to focus on the other skills that I also had. Like during my internship, I also got to learn about the general workflow and participating in dailies and communicating with the team and the customer, and seeing a big code base and things like that. And then also from my previous degree, I could see that just working with a team and working independently and being able to work through challenging situations or some unpredictable situations, maybe. Just because being a developer is not only about programming, but of course, programming.
Yeah, so it's a lot more about than just the technical skills. So you're saying that teamworking and cooperation, it's quite large thing even as a junior developer.
Yes, yeah, I think it's it helps if you know how to ask a question. You'll get better answers that way. And yeah.
Yeah, and I believe that the same goes for the data engineering profession. Or do you agree, Herta?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and I believe like as I've seen like both the Data and Dev Academy, it's like whatever like work experience you have, whether it's on a technical position or any other one, it's usually helpful because it as Nina already mentioned, it gives you the skills and the knowledge about like teamwork and cooperation and communication. So it's really good to have other experiences as well. How about when you applied to us, to the academy, how did you find the application process like? From the moment that you saw the job ad, how did you felt that everything kind of went, giving your background and the skill level that you had? So for example, Reetta, how did you find the Data Academy like recruitment process?
I had a good experience. I think it was like first when I saw the I sent the application. It was like easy, just mailing and writing there what I have done and what I can do and stuff like that. And then I got some response there that showed that I should be send the application to Data Academy, not the whole Solita requirement way. And then I had this invitation for the video interview, and then after that I had one interview on with Teams, and I think it was quite relaxed and easygoing. So it wasn't like not a traditional interview where the interviewers just shoot some questions and we had a casual conversation, and yeah, overall it was a good experience.
Yeah, and it was good that you kind of open up the recruitment process. So in data we have like first the video interviews that you also participated, and after that we have like the teams interview as well. So it's good that you have found that relaxing, or not maybe not relaxing, but at least like casual. Do you remember any of the questions that you were asked during the interview?
Yeah, I can remember that I had some like questions considering like how you handle like difficult situations, or what about if you are stressed, how you can like survive or something like that. But and would you rather work with the team or by yourself or stuff like that. But I think it mainly went like I just told them what I have done, and then they were asking like how did it felt for me, and how did it go, and what would I like to do, and stuff like that.
So again, like many points outside the technical experience. So quite a lot of that like soft skill into like questions as well.
Yeah.
How about Nina? There's like maybe I can open up the Dev Academy recruitment process first. So in Dev Academy we have quite different process. So we ask all the applicants to do this coding assignment first, and then we evaluate them based on the assignment and their CV and application, and then again they go to interviews if they pass the assignment. So how did you, Nina, felt that went, and what was the experience like?
Yeah, for me, being able to do the pre-assignment was like a good way to show what I can do with code, and it was challenging for me because I was doing a lot of things for the first time, but I've heard from others that it was easier, or some did it way faster than I did it. So yeah, there's very different skill levels, I think, in this academy, or different strengths. But I just focused on building something that works and not implementing all the functionalities, and I made it look pretty because that's what I knew how to do. And then the interview, there was one interview that was a little bit longer, which was, yeah, I think it was nice. It was, the interviewers were very friendly, and for a bigger part of the interview, I was sharing my screen and sharing the code and explaining what I did and what I built and what would I do differently and what did I think that, okay, well, this one doesn't really maybe work the best way, and then they would ask questions about my code. I answered if I could, or then I said that I don't know yet, but they would ask like, is there another way you could have done this, or like, yeah, things like that. I think so, yeah. I can't remember others now, but yeah, some of them were tricky questions and some were like, it was fun that I was like, okay, I know this answer. So yeah, but overall it was a very nice interview.
Yeah, and like for both of the academies, we usually the interview takes about from hour to 1.5 hours, and it tries to cover the like the cultural part of it. So we want to get to know the applicants as well as the kind of like the technical part. So in data, it might be more general questions about what they know about data modeling or data visualization or coding. And then again, in Dev Academy, where we have the pre-assignment there, we can kind of like focus on that and ask questions based on that. And I feel that it's a good way for the applicants to actually show what they know and how they can actually talk about the technologies that they have used. Okay, so then going to the actual academy. So now you have now gotten a place in the academy and you have started and your first day has gone by. So maybe Nina, now maybe you can tell me like what did you find that was the most valuable thing during the academy, or like even after it?
Yeah, I think the academy was like a great longer onboarding process in a way. It was like nice that you didn't have to start the project work and all the other onboarding things at the same time. And there were a lot of sessions and I learned a lot of new things. There are sessions about, yeah, like technical things, and then also like being a consultant and self-leadership and ways of working in projects, like really hands-on stuff that you need, which I think was very valuable. And then also I think the connections that I made, I have friends from Academy, and it was fun to get to start with, there were 16 of us, so with a lot of other people, and we got to ask the same questions about how do you mark your hours, or where do you find this information, or I would ask about like coding questions, like how do I do this, because like it was easy, and yeah, and I also tried to help others as well. But that was, yeah, really the community was very valuable for me as well.
How about Reetta? Like the Data Academy is quite different, like when it comes to the content, but what did you find like during the academy period? What was the most valuable thing for you?
I also agree that academic group thing, it was really helpful to have people in the same situation than me and get to know people. Also, I think it was really helpful to learn at least basics of the text that we went through. So there was some text that I didn't know, or I did know, but not like what you can do with it. And for example, data modeling, we had some courses that we went through that, and so that I got some points about like everything that we went, of course not everything, but everything that we went through. Yeah, and then I think it was really good to like have this moment when we went through who Solida is and who is the people of Solida, and then working ways how people work at Solida. So it was also something that stays in my mind.
Yeah, like I believe like that 4 to 5 weeks period is quite intense with, of course, the technical workshops and lectures, but on top of that you get to know like what kind of a firm Solita is and who are the people and what do we value and the ways of working. So it's an intense weeks of learning, but at least what I hear from like you saying that your group support, like the peer support that you had with the academic group, kind of like help both of you through that period of time. Okay, so now we have covered the academy part. So what has happened after in your working life after the academy, like when you graduated, so to say, from academy? What has happened after that? So maybe Reetta, you have quite a bit longer experience since your academy, so maybe you can start and tell me what have you done after the academy?
Yeah, right after academy, I went to my first customer project, and I didn't have any like free time there, so I started working like straight away, and then now at the moment I'm in my third project, so I have had different projects, and also with these customer projects I've been involved with like some Solida's internal projects. For example, I've been organizer at some study group and some mentoring program. So there has been happening a lot for you.
How about like you have been part of quite many projects, but what do you do on a daily basis? What kind of tools you use, or what technologies comes into mind? Like what do you use on your daily work?
Now that I've been in different projects, I can tell that every project is different. I have used like multiple different techs, for example, Azure, and of course this SQL is something that I use daily, but for example, what can I tell? This ADE, what is Solita's product, is familiar to me, and now in my current project I have like we are on premise, so I have quite a different like Python and Docker and stuff like that is familiar to me now also. So I can't say that one tech is the tech that I've been using like daily, because it depends so much about the project I'm in.
Yeah, so many different technologies, and I believe that at least those that you mentioned, they are some of those that you go through to the academy, so you kind of had some knowledge about them already.
Yeah, at least I know, yeah, the basics of them.
And it's good to have like you have quite a range, so you have like, as you said, like you don't have one that you like focus on, but you have had quite good variety of things that you have focused on.
Yeah, that's something I have learned a lot since academy.
Yeah, and I believe like the learning doesn't really stop in academy, but it's only the start. How about Nina? It's only been a couple of months now, after not even a couple of months when you have ended the academy. So what have you done after the academy?
Yeah, I also joined a customer project right after the academy, and I was assigned a mentor who's from the project. She's a senior software designer who has been helping me with my first task. And in the Dev Academy, we have this, what do you call it in English? The project that you do after.
Oh, you mean like the it's like what is it? Like it's what is it? Not a practice assignment, but a coding assignment as well. Do you mean that?
Yes, yeah. So basically, for me, it was my first task in the project, which was like a bigger task, and my mentor was helping me throughout it all. And the whole technology stack is new to me, so I get to learn all these new skills. Now I work with .NET and Episerver and C#, which I haven't done any of those before. But so I've had time to study some of that on my own, like during work hours, of course, and then also just doing the tasks, which is probably one of the best ways to learn, just to get started in the project. So
yeah, like just maybe I can elaborate on the assignment that you did. So all of our developers, whether they come through the academy or just through the normal recruitment, all of our developers do this like practice assignment, which might be like one feature in a project that they are going to, or some like more general assignment, so that we can get more knowledge about their like know-how and skill level, and then we can support them better when we know their skill level better. So that's what Nina was doing in the beginning as well. Okay, so how about like maybe Reetta, here you have quite many project experiences, so maybe you can also tell me like how much you can affect your own work. So what do you do and where do you work and which projects that you do? How much can you affect that?
I have to again say that it depends on the project, but now I am my current project, I have freedom to decide where or how or at least almost when I work, so that I have a freedom to do that. But at some projects it's more like so that we have to be there all at the same time or something like that, so that it depends. But now I'm in the good place so that I can decide how I do my job. But yeah, I think that also that the project that where I want to work is something that I can affect, so I can tell what kind of project I would like to have and stuff like that.
Yeah. How about like within the project, like is there like, can you divide the work as you would like, or how does it go? Because you certainly have different kind of tasks in the project. Like how do you kind of like, does someone tell you what to do, or do you decide together, and how does it go?
We have this backlog thing, so that we have some tasks there that should be done, and then we have the mentality so that everyone does everything. Even if I'm quite new at my project, I still take the task that is next on the line, and then if I can't do it, I ask help, and then someone comes and helps me, and that's the way to learn also. So I think that's really good way to work, so that I can learn every day something new. Sometimes it's a bit difficult if I have some task that I don't really know what to do, but I always get help. So yeah,
that's a good mentality, kind of like lower the threshold, so you get the next task and then you work on that and ask help until you kind of like know what to do. So sounds good. Yeah, and I believe like it also depends on the project, like what kind of responsibilities you can get, or like whether you would like to, for example, in software development project, whether you work on front end or back end, or maybe in data, like whether it's more on the like programming side of things, or whether it's modeling or what there is in the project. So it kind of depends what you can then do within the project as well. So yeah, it's a different kind of, you both have very different like perspectives, because Nina has now been two months here, and then again Reetta has longer experience, so very different kind of view. Okay, well then maybe like that was about the project work and everything, but how about how do you find, for example, Nina, that now that you have had only short experience, how do you find the like Solita as a workplace, like outside maybe of the project, and what you can do around your projects? How do you find that?
I think Solita really cares about the employees here and their well-being, and like supports you making connections with your colleagues and like having a good time at work. And it can look different for different people, so you can join events and things as much as you want to or not join. And they've been important to me. I really enjoyed the aspect of like the Solita culture in this way, and it seems like people like to work here so far, and it's been nice how people like treat you as a newcomer. Like a lot of people just like introduce themselves and ask like what's going on, and people know about the academies and they usually ask like, well, how has the academy been? And it's like interesting like talking to someone who I've never met before and they're like interested in what I'm doing or how my experience has been. So that's really nice, and it's definitely something that I want to also like do when I've been here for longer and then I meet new people. Like I want to make them feel welcomed as well.
Have you participated in any like info sessions or lectures or other events like after the academy?
Yes, I have. There are a lot of info sessions you can join. I have participated in some of them, and some internal trainings. And then when we were able to have the events, I was in the afterworks and other things like that.
Great to hear that even with the short experience you have get to participate in those as well. How about Reetta? Now you have quite long experience compared to Nina, but how do you find the kind of like life at Solita around your or outside your project?
I really like to be here. As like Nina said, the people of Solita is something that is really important to me, and it's really like always joy to come to the office and see people, and everyone is like, if for example, if I'm a new face, everyone is asking that who are you and what are you doing, and so that even if you are a junior, people are not like you are a junior or your opinion is important still. And yeah, and of course outside the customer projects we have these internal things that I already mentioned. For example, this mentoring and study groups and meetups like this, so that if you want, you don't have to, but if you want, you can join this and be part of the Solita culture. Yeah, so that and one thing that I really like is that we have time to develop our competences, so we can use the time also so that you can develop yourself, not just do the customer projects. And yeah,
like even though there's a lot to learn within the projects, like for example, Nina had the new technologies in your project, and I'm sure that Reetta had new things in the project as well, but on top of that you can actually join whatever kind of like interests you outside of that as well. So it's great opportunity to kind of like largen your knowledge without actually taking the hours of work, for example.
Yeah, and of course also that I think the people want to share their knowledge, so there is these info sessions and you always get help, even if you don't know the person or you are not in the same project. You can always discuss and have opinions about some text, for example.
Yeah, and what I also found like really interesting and kind of like nice that we have very open Slack culture, and you can just like we have I believe like hundreds of Slack channels in our internal Slack, and there you can just like shoot a question on specific channel, and it might be someone that you know, or it might be someone that you have never talked with who actually answers that and you get to kind of like discuss topics with everyone, and everybody's always like helpful and like eager to help newcomers as well as like more experienced Solitan as well. That is a great aspect of being here. But like now we have talked like project work and academy and all that, like what we had to offer outside of project. But like how do you find the day-to-day work that you in your project? Like is it always like rosy and awesome and everything, or is there some like aspects that you would like to share maybe more? So maybe Reetta, you can answer. You have longer experience on different projects, so what's
Yeah, of course. It's not always that fun or always that easy. Yeah, I think that, yeah, I don't know what to tell, but yeah, I think
maybe like do you always do tasks that you find interesting? Maybe let's say it like this.
yeah, of course not. And then I just have to do it. But I think that is something like why I want to come to office. Because if I have something that I don't really want to do or something that stresses me out, like I'm like falling apart. So then if I'm here and I'm with the people, I think they give me like energy, and of course we can also talk about these things with my team, so that I can say that I don't know what to do with this, or I can't really do this, or something like that. It's okay to admit that I'm now like I'm not okay now.
Yeah, like this is still work, like even though it's very interesting and you can always like there's a lot to learn, and that's kind of that's the cool part, but it's still a workplace, and you have projects that needs to be done. So yeah, and that the group does help you.
Yeah.
How about Nina? Do you do you have any aspects of kind of like realization of the project work? Like how do you find the daily work?
Yeah, well, at the moment, it's easy to be excited about the smallest things, just making a change in the code and seeing something happen, whether it breaks the system or it works the way I want it. I'm like, okay, I did something that has an effect on on something. But yeah, it has been sometimes frustrating. For example, knowing that I could do this in React or JavaScript, but I don't know how to do this in C#, and then it works differently and it takes me longer than it would. But then, yeah, but it's still nice to learn a new language. But sometimes it would be like I'm waiting for the feeling of when I'm like familiar with things. But it's just a part of like starting the new project and yeah, learning new things. But so no, it's not always like fun, but when you figure out the answer, then it's a nice feeling then.
Yeah, that's true. And like of course like all the, because we do customer projects and we do what customer needs, like there's always some kind of like maintenance things or like you need to rewrite code or just like management stuff even sometimes. But yeah, but it's always kind of like good to look on the positive side that you have the group with you, the project group with you, and you can get the support from them, and there's always something to learn. So great to hear. I believe that we run out of our like original questions, but maybe we can hop on to the ones that people audience has asked. So let me just see from here. And of course, shoot questions to the chat as well. Now is the time, so we can answer them. So I'm just going to go through the Lyti questions and answer myself or ask from Nina and Reetta whether it's applicable. So there's a question that when the application will be launched, and both of the applications for the Dev and Data Academy are now open. And I believe Henna linked both of the job posts in the chat, so you can find the application link through there. Let me see. Of course, like there's a questions whether we have other junior positions available top of the academy, and whether you can apply through the open application on our website as well. So at the moment, both our dev and data juniors come to academy, but you can of course apply through the open application as well, and then we evaluate whether you are suitable to come like not through the academy but other means, and we will always kind of inform the applicants about that. Then there is question whether Finnish is required to the academy. So no, it's not. So both Dev and Data Academy will be held in English. So all the content will be in English. What else? Okay, so there is a question that when does the Solita Academy start? So the next academy will start in March. So applications open now, and both Data and Academy will open in March. Noise coming through. I don't know where it's coming from. Let me check here. Okay, and then there's questions as where you can apply to the academy, so through the links that are in the chat. And then there is like how many candidates took part in or take part in academy. So last time the academy, for example, where Nina was, so Dev Academy during this fall, there were 16 participants, and that was the same for Data this fall as well. And for the next academy, it will be somewhere from 15 to 20 participants in both academies. And then there's questions whether they have a technical interview in the academy. So we don't have a specific technical interview, but the interview that you will go through both in Data and Dev will combine the cultural interview, so getting to know each other, and also include some technical questions to actually get more knowledge about your technical level. Yeah, and then there's another question. We actually had the job post for the Data Academy first in Finnish, and because the decision to actually hold the academy in English came only last week, so the job post is now open also in English, so it can be found on our open positions website in English now, but it doesn't matter which like application link that you use, so it can be the Finnish or the English one, it will be the same academy still. And if there was some questions that you sent previously through Lyti and I didn't answer them here, we will answer to you directly via email. So there wasn't that many questions in there to Nina or Reetta, but let's see the chat first, and then we also have people that you would, let's see. So, okay, so there's a question, again, maybe I can answer. So how long is the academy part? So academy will last approximately 5 weeks, and then you will be transferred or kind of like changed to the customer project. Is the first customer project like some sort of assignment, and does it belong to the academy timeframe? So the customer project is the like it's not like assignment, but it's the how do I say this? Like after academy, you will then transfer to be our like permanent consultant, and then you will be assigned to customer project, and that is like outside of the academy timeframe. Okay, then there is okay, so if you have graduated last year, it is possible to participate in academy. So it will help you to get more like comprehensive knowledge on the field that you are interested in. So now question for Nina and Reetta. I was already feeling that I'm a talking head here all by myself. So maybe Nina, you have been mentioned first, so I will ask you first. So do you feel stressed to learn fast and to be more productive worker?
Well, no, not really. My project manager from the beginning has told me that I can take as much time as I need to and that there's no hurry. And he just wants me to learn well and like do things well rather than do them fast. So I'm trying not to stress. No, I'm really not. It's so nice.
That's good. Then I've tried to tell you as well that don't stress about it. So it's a good that the message is clear from the project as well.
Yeah.
How about Reetta? How do you find it?
I do. Yeah, and I'm still at that point that I feel like I should be more productive, and I stress that I can't do this as fast as I think that it should be done, but I think it's me. Yeah, and I said this aloud, like with my team, and why it takes so long time me to do this when you do this like in short time. And they remembered me that we've been working 10 years, you've been working 1 year. It's totally okay that it takes more time. So it's always good to like say it aloud if you feel so. But yeah, I do feel.
That's a really good point that you should say it out loud, because otherwise you wouldn't get the feedback from your colleague that it's okay. Like you would then worry about it yourself. So always say it out loud. Good point. Okay, then there is question whether the salary is paid during the academy. So yes, if you get a spot in academy, you will be paid from the day one. So during academy period as well. What's the next question? There's a question from like, can the participants choose which office they will work after the academy? So yes, we take like in Finland, you will be able to participate wherever you live in Finland. So whether it's Helsinki, Tampere, Lahti, so in our office locations, or you can even be from somewhere else. For example, we had one participant participating from Kuopio in our Dev Academy, as well as some participating from Jyväskylä as well this fall. So it doesn't matter where you live in Finland, you can participate in the academy, and you can then choose which office will be your so-called home office after the academy. And again, as there is a question about the language, so the academy in March will be held in English. Then there is a question about whether it's going to be fully remote. Let me just say that we will enable people to do it remotely, but we are going to do some live sessions in either in Helsinki or Tampere office, depending on where the participants are actually located. So not fully remotely, but maybe more remotely than live in offices, of course, taking in consideration the current situation in Finland. And the academy will be paid again. Let me see if there is another like new question. Okay, so there is a question about the data engineer like recruitment path. So the video interview that we were talking about before, it's this. Maybe you can even Google it. It's gonna be done through RecRite, which is basically we here at Solita, we record some questions for you, and then we give you a couple of days time to record your responses to those questions, so that it's like completely individual. You can do it at home, and there's no like direct like video contact. But then the second interview is via Teams, so it will be like this here. We could have an interview here, so having like a online interview there. And there's no requirements to prepare for the data engineering interview beforehand, so just come as you are. For the dev interview, you would have the pre-assignment done like before the interview. There is not other position there's okay. So the question is, so there's another academy for other kind of positions in spring. So only software developers and data engineers are the academies that are starting this spring. Okay, there's a comment that participants look young, and is there age limit? Okay, so this was no, there's no age limit. This happened to be quite like young female participants that we had here, but actually the age range for the previous academies was from like your 20s to actually we had applicants, or not applicants, but academians who were in their 40s. 40s, so 40. So no age limit. So then there's a question, how big projects would be one working with after the academy, and what is the size of the project teams? That varies quite a lot. So it might be a project that has 5 people, or it might be a project that has 30 people. So it depends completely on the project, and like, I don't know, Nina is working, for example, in a very small project, but like I know academians that have started in a project where there's like 30 people there and they still love it. So I don't know, how about Reetta, how big project have you been working on?
I've been working so that we have like there were like 5 of us, and then there was just 3 of us, and it was like more like box type, what is POC, yeah. And now there is like 6 of us, and of course then the customer, but like our developers, there is just 6 of us.
Yeah, like I can maybe mention here that I also came to Dev Academy, and the project that I worked in on our first project was the one that had 30 people there, and I loved it. So very, very big range there. And then there's a question, and that is it possible for self-taught developers without computer science degree? How about Nina? What do you think?
Yes, it is. And I'm not the only one in this Dev Academy who is self-taught or has done some sort of boot camp or other things. So yeah, no, not everyone has a degree, or not everyone has finished their degree, even if they've started some, but yeah.
And I believe the same goes for data, that you don't really have to have. I don't know, Reetta, how about you? How do you feel, some of the academians that came through with you, like, do everyone have a degree from university?
No, definitely not. And I even know some people that haven't done like any studies, and I think most of them didn't have the computer science degree. It was something completely different. So I think it doesn't matter how you know this.
Yeah. Yeah, we have very, very different, like very large range of backgrounds as well. So no need for degrees. Then the questions whether the position is full-time, is there possibility for part-time work afterwards? So yes, there is possibility to do part-time contract, but we do recommend that during the academy time, that would be like full-time, that you participate in the academy, but after the academy, there is possibility to do part-time contract as well. For example, support your studies, or if you have any other kind of life situation that requires part-time. Then there is question about remotely working after the academy. Yes, that is possible, and actually we are currently working mostly remotely because of the COVID situation in Finland. But yes, either fully remote, or you can also come to the offices. For example, I'm at the office at the moment, but I usually spend my work days at home. Is it necessary to really have some big projects on portfolio for joining the Data Academy? I don't feel like you do. How about Reetta, you? Do you did you have any like projects, or have you done any like portfolio work before you join us?
No, I have not done anything like that. And maybe we have this discussion what I have done, like I didn't have any portfolio or something like that. Of course, they wanted to know if I knew something about these things, but nothing. I didn't have to show anything that I've done.
Yeah. Maybe then, Reetta, maybe you can also answer this, or I don't know, maybe start at least. So, are the customer projects always done with other Solita workers, or can there be occasions on working alone or with other company consultants? What's your experience?
I've always been in a project with some Solidan, but I know academians that were with me in our academia that have been alone, like alone as a Solidan, yeah. But I was told that no one have to go alone on the project if you don't want to. So they always like, if you want to have a team, you will get the team.
Yeah, and especially like when you are a junior, when you come to academy, we try to always have some colleagues for you from like Solitan colleagues there to working on a customer premises or a customer project. But of course, there's some cases when you are more experienced, you might be the only one, or there might be some other people working on this project from like outside of Solita as well. Then there's a question about whether it's possible to complete master thesis with Solita after the academy. So yes, that is also a possibility if you have employment contract with us. We do want to support people's studies and completing them as well. And what is the possibility of getting a permanent position at Solita after the academy? So okay, this is a good point to clear. So if you get a spot to academy, that means that you will get permanent employment contract at Solita. So Solita is not academy is not separate part of Solita, but all the academians are our own workers, our own employees, and they will get a permanent contract from the day one. Okay, so maybe on the topics of the academies, so that information can be found on the job ads and the application links as well. So you could check those out. So both of there's questions about technologies used and learned during the academy. So you can check those from the links as well. Okay, data technologies and tools used in Solita. So for example, we use Python, we have SQL on the database side in data as well. We use our Agile data engine, which is our own project. Then for example, Power BI, Azure, so cloud services as well might be something to mention. And again, go through the links and you will find information there. But we are running out of time, and it's a long day. So thank you for all the participants for coming here. Maybe I can actually just shortly to go here. Oops. So if you have any questions, there's my email on the screen, and you can send me an email if something question doesn't answer. And I thank you also, Reetta and Nina. It was great to have you here talking about the experience, and great to have you seen grown after the academy. But yeah, maybe that was it. I thank you for all, and hope that you will have a great evening.